Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and anybody that's new, welcome. So I'm going to make a Jenga block gingerbread house today. Well, we're going to start it. It's been the number one request. I do take requests every once in a while, so sometimes if you let me know, maybe you have an idea, sometimes it sparks my interest and I think of a plan and we can make it. But everybody's been waiting for this. I keep getting messages, and we're going to start one today. There was a different one I wanted to do. I ordered something in the mail, and Canada Post. I'm in Canada, so Canada Post is on strike, so I'm not going to get it in time. And I really want everybody to be able to make a gingerbread house before Christmas. We're going to use the Jenga blocks, tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. You can find them in the toy section. Sometimes they're on the end caps. Just ask your manager or an associate from the store, and they'll be able to help you find them if they have them in the store. Now, I'm fortunate enough to still have the neutral ones. The new ones, for whatever reason, are the two-toned, but you could use the brown ones for this one just because it is a gingerbread house. I have some ideas I want to try with this build, but you can pick out all the brown ones if you did order a case online or you got one in store, or if you have a number of blocks. As we go along, I will go with the total, tell you the block numbers as we go, only for the fact is because I don't know how many blocks we're going to use for this one just yet. But we will go along, and I will tell you at the very end what the total amount will be. I always like my L-shape carpenter square ruler you can get from the Dollar Tree in the automotive section. I always get a little questions, or quite a few questions, about where I get my mat. These are just plastic desk mats from IKEA, and I find they work very well. I tried the silicone and nothing slides really good, so especially when I'm sliding around gluing blocks together. I do pre-glue some of my sections together prior to video just to make sure everything fits and I don't have to backtrack or edit my videos and all that. Number one question is, what glue can I use? I do not suggest using hot glue at all unless you are just gluing a block or two. My favorite I use is Well Bond. You can buy it at Rona/Lowe's. I think Home Depot carries it. You can get it on Amazon, but I wouldn't buy it online. I would try to find it in a store. You can also use the wood glue Gorilla. Never tried it. As you can see, it's still full. And Terry did send me a bottle of wood glue from Dollar Tree. My stores don't carry it here in Canada, but thank you, Terry. I'm still saving this because, I don't know, there's a video I'm going to do about all the glues eventually in the new year. I'm going to use the Well Bond, though, for today for this build. I started with saying stacked and flat. Now I'm just going to tell you just a little bit about stacked and flat. When I say flat, it's gluing the blocks side by side that they look glued flat. When I say stacked, it's when you change your block on its side and you glue it together like such. This means stacked. I think there's only one part of the build that will be stacked. You never know as we go along, but this is my reference that I've started a while ago, just easier to explain and everybody can understand when I do stuff like that. I do suggest make sure that you do read any of the glue that you use for the drying time. Sometimes it does dry fast. It might seem fast, but if you're moving around and adding on a bigger build, sometimes the blocks do shift. It's happened in the past for me. So just be mindful of the time. This one says up to an hour and up to 24 hours. But sometimes when I'm doing the builds, they are pre-glued, so then you can move ahead. Don't rush your craft. Take your time. Have fun with it. Play some music. Have a coffee. Pour a glass of wine. Is always good when you're taking your time and making things. I like to think that I take a long time with my builds, so that's why I have different ideas, and that's why sometimes it takes a long time for my videos to come out, and I try to make them as fast as I can, plus I work full time. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do two of pieces that I'm gonna show you. So the front and the back of the gingerbread house. We're gonna start from the bottom up, and we're gonna do a row. It's 13 flat. Glued right on top of that is another row of 13 flat. Gonna do another row of 13 flat. And another row of 13 flat. So you got 4 rows so far. Then we're going to change the blocks. Instead of upright, we're going to change them sideways. And we're going to do 4. We got the middle Jenga blocks here in the middle, so you have the 13th. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th one is the center, and you're going to stick the 4 right in the center of that. Then we're going to do 3. We're going to add 2. We're going to add 1. And then we're going to add 1 right on top of that. So this is 63 blocks. And we're going to need 2 of these. We got 2 of these. Then we're going to move on to the sides. I'm just going to cover it here just so as we go. We're going to start from the bottom up. We got 6, another 6, and these are all flat, another 6, and we have another 6. So you got 4 rows of 6. That's 24. We're going to need 2 of those. Now we are going to glue a portion together. Now I always like to have something. Let me see if I can stick this Jenga blocks. So I'm just going to stick it like that. We are going to take some glue. And you're going to go along the side. Sorry, I just want to make sure it's upside down. Here's my little bottle. And you're just going to go along the sides. And do the other side. Don't use hot glue. Okay, I'm gonna now sticking something in to hold it upright. We're gonna take the other piece and we're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna switch this one around this way. We're going to do the exact same thing. More glue. And once we glue these pieces together, I am going to leave them overnight to totally dry. Let me just double check here. Okay. I'm just going to lean this here. Oh, no, I'm not. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the sides. And you're just going to put it on the outside, not on the inside, on the outside. And sometimes you'll see a little bit of an area that needs more glue that it's not attaching because they're not evenly cut. And I'm just going to go right back. I put the little bit on the side, you can't see it, but in the front part I can see it. And you're going to attach it. Now we're going to take the other side, exact same like the other side, and you're going to have to make sure, I don't want to stick my head under the camera. We'll double check it after I turn the camera off. And you're just going to push them together. And any little excess glue, I'm just rubbing my hand along it. I am just gonna wipe off. And then you're just gonna let that sit. So it really depends on the glue that you use. Don't use hot glue. I'm gonna fix this in the back when I can put my head over it and turn it around. And then you're just gonna let it sit like that. All right, so I left it overnight to dry and it dried really good. We are going to add a roof on it. So we're gonna add some more blocks. We're gonna do a row of 7, and we're gonna do 3 more rows with the total of 4 rows of 7. You're gonna need 2 of those. So I got 2 here. Now we're gonna not glue it on. So pick your nicest side. I always look which one's a little bit nicer. This is a little bit, the seam's out a little bit. So I'm gonna pick this side. And then we are gonna take some glue and I'm gonna show you. And we're not gluing it on here yet, but we're gonna put it in motion to eventually be glued on. I'm just waiting for my glue. And we are gonna glue it right there. So take one side. I'm gonna do a lot just to make sure it sets, and I'm gonna leave it again overnight. I'm gonna take it, remember, put the right side the glue. We're gonna glue it right under the top part. I'm just gonna look on the side here. But I'm gonna make sure the ends are touching. I'm not gonna worry about touching there, it's touching here. All right, so I left it all day. We're gonna add a little bit of glue. As you can see, it's not glued on. It was just the angle that I did want it. And the only really place it is touching is these 2 corners. And it's touching on these corners on the other side. So I'm just gonna take some glue. We're gonna leave it face down, just like that. Just gonna add some little drops there. And this side, I think this one I might be able to put a little bit. Now it is going to be just a little bit off on angle, only because it's the way we did the cut on top. And we're going to add some more pieces. Now we're going to cut up the hole. I'm just going to put this here. So we're going to need 2 rows of 4, just like that. And we are going to need 2 rows of 3, that's 6, and we got 8 here. Now I'm just gonna move them here. And this is how we're gonna keep the roof on the gingerbread house. But before we glue them, I just about forgot. We're gonna put the 4 here. I'm gonna move and it's gonna go right over that glue. I'm just gonna go like this, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Then you're gonna go like this, put the 3s here. There's a method to my madness, guys. So this is, now you will see only because the way we did the roof, instead of the peak being opposite where you have no very corner top, that's why we just have there's just gonna be a little bit off. So I suggest don't glue these on when you are putting the roof together with the glue. I would play with the roof to the angle that you want it, and just put these 2 in there before you glue them, just to kind of see where you're going to be at. And I'm just going to move it right. And you can see it's just off maybe a 1/4 of an inch, if that, just on the side. And it's a little bit shorter on one side than the other. No one's gonna know. And we're gonna take those back off for a sec. I'm just gonna put them over here. I'm gonna put them over here because I don't wanna get... Now, we're gonna start with that one. And we're gonna take your glue. And the reason why I put the pencil, is you're gonna go like this, so you know exactly where these need to be glued on. Oops, right here. Actually, it's gonna go here. I'm gonna go all the way down. Now, what's gonna keep the glue, the roof on? Just wanna make sure, get it good here. It's gonna take your one closest to there, put some glue on. And I'm doing a fast job. And the top. And you're gonna place it in, now I end up putting some glue on the top of the roof here, and I don't like that. And what's really good is using a Q-tip, but I don't have a Q-tip right beside me now. I will when I turn the camera off, go over it. You're gonna add your second piece. Make sure you glue it to the other piece. Just like that. And you're gonna put it right there. Okay. We're gonna do the exact same thing for the other side. You're gonna make sure you put one on the end and all the way down. So these little brackets or slates, we can call them slates, will keep the roof attached. Now this is the back. We're gonna do, I'll let this dry before I explain the back, but there's two ways you can do the back. But I'm gonna let this dry now. I'll leave it for a good 4 or 5 hours. And this way you got no cutting. Adds a little bit to the decor. Just gonna make sure it's pressed down where you want it. And you're just gonna let it dry just like that, not moving it, not tipping it up, leave it like that. All right, so I left it a couple hours. Now we're gonna flip it over. So when we did glue this, the roof was flush to the bottom as well as the base. So we're gonna flip it over and you're gonna see, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a tilt. You're gonna just take 2 blocks. We're not gluing these on. We're just gonna put them on each side, upright like this, not like this, upright. So it's even. And we're gonna add more blocks. Now, if you wanna just keep it like this and not add any more blocks, that's fine. You could put a rectangular piece of cardboard in the back. I think I did that on the barn and another couple builds that I use cardboard, but since I figured we're already doing this, we'll just add if you wanna do the extra, because the lip on the front sticks out and the back doesn't, but this is where we're gonna change it if you want. Gonna need 4 blocks. We're gonna call it 1 row of 4. You're gonna need 4 of these. You're gonna follow the pattern, whether which side you put it on. So I have the 4 blocks here. You're gonna glue that on right like that. You're gonna take the second row of 4 and you're gonna glue it right on to match the bottom, this side on the left side of the pattern. So now you have it raised out. You're gonna grab the other 2 rows of 4. Now, if you stick it here, I'm just going to show you, this is the wrong side. I'm going to stick it here, but you can see it sticking out. So it's the wrong side. Got to follow the pattern of the 4 over here, which will be the same as the front, and it'll be shorter. So you're going to glue those two, Take the pencil. I would let these two dry first and then put the pencil on, just so they don't shift and move. And then you would add 2 more rows of 3. So you'll need 2 of these. So this extra backing itself will be an extra 32 blocks. And you know you'll have them right when they're just a little bit shorter. Remember, one side's always just a little bit shorter. And then I would leave it for a couple hours to dry. It's late here, so I am just gonna let this dry overnight. Okay, so it is fully dry. I think it looks really good. It's nice and solid. Now, we are gonna add more blocks, but what I have done on the past videos is use spackle. Now, Dollar Tree carries spackle in the US. Here in Canada, we don't carry it. They don't carry it at our stores. I just got the Dry Tex, which is from Rona. And this one is pink, but it dries white. And the reason why I use this, if you're new to my channel, is because I like to fill in the little holes. And I just use probably not the right type of knife, but I do like to fill in my little holes along the edge. And it also helps make a smoother finish once you do it. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to do it really good in the cracks around here. And I'm just going to go along in little places. Now, with it being pink and we're not doing any deep holes, it doesn't take long to dry, less than an hour. So I am going to do that to the roof and the front, sides, and back. All right, now that I let the spackle dry, you can take a buffing block. You can find this in the automotive section. Now, putting the spackle on is totally, you can omit that or you can do it. It's really up to you. I like to have my surfaces a little bit smoother. It does get a little dusty when you do it, and I like to do it outside, but it will make the area nice and smooth. I did the roof as well and the back. So I'm just going to smooth this out before we paint it. All right, now that I have it sanded, I want to give it a couple coats. I do want to do texture coat, but I do want to give it a few base coat, at least 2 coats. I'm just going to use an espresso brown. I use a puppy pad, just it absorbs and it keeps my mat from getting stained from paint. So I'm going to give it 2 good coats of paint all the way around the top and the sides. All right, so I'm going to flip it this way. I did the couple coats on here until you couldn't see the blocks anymore. I wanted to have a different texture on the blocks as opposed to just the regular acrylic paint. I did want to try something that I seen this summer that someone did in a couple craft groups. I've seen this with making it a little bit more textured. So I just grabbed some DT paint, same paint of coat that I was already doing, added in a bowl a little bit of baking soda and just a bit of water. And you're just, this is the consistency that it's kind of like soupy, but it worked really good. And I already did 1 coat and I really like it. It gives it just a nice textured look as opposed to just the acrylic paint. Now I'm just going to finish around the rest and the other side. All right, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to make a door. You're going to need 7 blocks. You're going to put 1 there. Going to glue right like this. Going to grab another 2, and this is going to be flat. And you're going to grab another 2, and you're just going to glue it like that for the doorway, and then it's going to look like this. Now, I am just going to get some white paint. I'm just going to paint this white. I was debating on colors, what I wanted to do. So I'm going to do this. Now, this is an option. I'm going to show you here. There's two options for the windows. Only with the frame in the front. I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to paint that white, and I'm going to do that off camera. When you center it, I came up with two different ideas for windows, but I'm going to use something else, and you can do this as well. You can put 2 blocks, and you're going to do it stacked, one on top, one on the bottom, which would fit perfectly either side. Could do that, or you can do it flat, same idea, on top of each other. I just didn't like that the window wasn't open enough, and I was going to use this until I found these at DT. I'm going to take it out. Instead of looking all bulky, now you can get this where the stickers are in Dollar Tree, and I cut one out already, and I'm going to show you. You cut it all the way around, and you'll have the window. Now I end up painting it. This one is kind of white. I went over it with the white paint, and then I just used, I don't have one in the package, I have one out right now. I just used the 3D paint. It's like puffy paint that I used on the Jenga block chimney, and I did it really thick. Now the thing is with this paint, even though it looks really thick, it will shrink smaller, and you do got to leave it for 4 hours or more, depending. I think I left mine overnight, but it was a lot thicker because I want to have my windows with the cross inside, and I just thought it gives it a little bit of a different look. So I am going to do the second one, cut it out, and then you're just going to go along the edges of it and just carefully go all the way around, and then don't touch it, because if you touch it, you're going to leave marks in it, and just let it dry. Put it by a heater, will make it dry faster as well. All right, well, the doors and windows are still drying. We are going to do something with the roof now. Because I already painted the roof brown, you could also paint it white when you're doing it for the reason I'm going to show you, but I'm just going to use some foam paper. Sometimes I don't know what I actually want to do when I'm building the gingerbread house or any kind of craft, and I kind of go along with the flow. So you're just going to need a piece of foam paper. You're going to cut 2 pieces, one for each side. Remember, one side's going to be a little bit longer than the other, so just measure it on top. I'm just going to use this chalk marker. It's just from Dollar Tree. You can use anything, eye pencil. I don't know where it is right now. You're going to take a ruler, and we're going to try to make a waffle design. So I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Oh, yeah, you can. You can see the lines that I just did across, and then I just went the other way. I want to do a design with the waffle, and you can put candies or whatever just a textured look than just a plain roof. And then we'll add a bit of snow on it. I'm just going to show you a couple lines. You're just going to take your glue gun, and mine's a little bit dirty here, and you're just going to follow the lines. So I'm going to start on the corner, and you're just going to make, I'm going to try not do it so straight. Right across. And then I'm going to do another one. I'm trying to figure out where the lines are. Try not to get a lot of the lifting it up too much, so it's just a nice straight line, or at least make the hot glue connect it all to one. I will keep doing that all the way around, but I will show you from here, and then I would go the other way. So it has a waffle look. So, and I'm going to just keep doing that, and I'm going to show you when it's done. All right, so I finished it and I think it turned out pretty good. Now, just make sure that you get all the little glue hairs, little strings from the glue off. I know I've read somewhere about putting the glue sticks in the freezer and then using them. I just never do that. I don't know, I've never tried, so I don't know if it even works, but a lot of people swear by it. So now we're gonna do 2 of these, and you just make sure you have one longer than the other on the measurement on your roof. And then I am just gonna paint it some white. Now, depending on if you use the foam paper or not, if you find that it absorbs a lot of the paint, you could put a coat of Mod Podge over it first and then do a coat of paint. And this is the other one that's already drying now. Once I've done both of them, I'm just gonna hot glue them right on the roof. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of Mod Podge and hot glue to glue them down. All right, now that I have it glued on, I think it looks pretty good on both sides. Almost lines up a little bit, and I didn't do that on purpose. As well, obviously you can see they're off just a little bit. I wanted to make sure that on the sides it came down all the way. It was short by just a little bit, as you can see here, and that's easy enough. Oh, I'm trying to move I need a new glue gun. I'm trying to move it here. All you have to do is just put a line of glue, hot glue, right in the center. Now that I put the hot glue, I'm just gonna let it dry, and then I'll just give it a coat of white right over top. Now that I have that done, I wanna move to the front. So pick whatever side's better that you wanna use. I took some foam paper, and similar to the Jenga block chimney that we did, I think it was the last one or the second last one we just did. And I just cut some grooves around it. Instead of painting it on, I'm gonna hang it on the top lip of the roof, and I'm gonna hot glue it on here, but we're gonna do one more thing before we hot glue that on. Then I'm gonna take another piece, and the reason why I did the little edge here is so that it will just kind of line up just like that. It's not perfect, but we'll fix it after. But before I put them on, I want to do the same idea with the hot glue, but I'm not going to do it. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I am going to do it. I'm going to worry about the top after I have it glued on. I'm just going to go along here all the way around. I'm going to connect here. I'm not going to go up this way. I'm going to connect and go around all the way down with the hot glue before I hot glue this on. All right, now that I did the swivel with the hot glue, right up here, there's just a little bit of opening, but I am going to disguise that a little bit later. But we are going to paint it. I'm going to paint it on here. I'm just going to use paper underneath. I can slide it right under so I don't get any paint marks or any little splashes on the black part. Also on the edge here where they don't exactly line up and meet, I'm just going to do one line of hot glue, and the same thing with the other side right here before I paint it. All right, so I finished it. I also did the base on each side and the back, and I'm just going to turn around. So this is the front, and then on the back you're going to see right here along the edge, and I didn't put a scallop here, that's just going to be the back, so I'm not going to do scallop, but I did use move it around here, some painter's tape along the edge when I painted it, just so I wouldn't get any white along the edging. Now for the next thing we are going to do, you can add anything you want. I had some of these where are they? Just these half wood rounds on them, and I just did a bunch of them. When I painted them so they don't slide all over, I just added a piece of tape underneath and taped them down. This is just a cutting board from DT, and then I painted them. I had another one. I have another thing, and it's really, really messy, so I took them off already. But just use a piece of tape when you have them down. Now they kind of look, I went with the theme was more the green and red. You can do any color you want. Also, they have these pom-poms from Dollar Tree as well. You could also use those in the little squares in the waffles. I'm just gonna randomly put them in spots in there. I'm not going to do every single one because I'd be painting all night, but I am just going to randomly hot glue them in certain spots. All right, guys, I glued it on. I think it looks really good so far. I just randomly put them all over. I did want to say though, I did measure it and it's just over half an inch in diameter for the little wood rounds. Now, I'm going to take some DT snow. I don't want to put too much because I want to make sure we still see the waffle design in it. I'm just going to go around the edges of the candy, and I'm just going to use some Mod Podge. I'm just going to use the matte one, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some snow around it, and then it's easy. You can just shake it, whatever excess is not glued on. All right, so I did put some of the snow. Turned out pretty good. Now we're going to move to the front part where it's dripping on top. In my stash, I just had this red little star. I'm just going to put it right on top. I ordered these from Temu. Now, Dollar Tree doesn't have very much. If you're really good with fake and bake, you know, those crafts that people make from the spackle, you could also use that if you want to opt out instead of the hot glue and the foam paper. Now, I ordered these ones on Temu. They're just small little candies. And I'm just going to put, when you put them, just make sure, because they come two different colors. Do you see where the white's more prominent than the red and vice versa? And I'm just going to put 4, I think, on here. I'll stick it right like that. I'm going to match the other side. I'm just going to hot glue these ones down. Let's do it like that. And then I had these other ones from Dollarama. They were just little wood gingerbread men. Now, Dollar Tree does have gingerbread men, but they are a lot bigger than these ones. But I'm just going to hot glue these ones here. If you check out Temu, they do have a lot of different types of fake little candies that work. And I am just going to put the other ones right on the other side. I'm just going to hot glue those down, and then I'm just going to touch it around with a little bit of Mod Podge and some fake snow. All right, so now we're going to add some more stuff onto here. Now, the problem with DT, I find, is there's not a lot of gingerbread, I guess, accessories, embellishments that we can put on here. There's a few different options. I had this ordered from Temu last year, and it was just one of those, I think it was a banner. It came with a string. I don't have the string in there. It must have came out somewhere. It was for the tiered shelf. Like, you put it on the, you could tie it around. There was different ones. Different. I thought this one was cute, but I'm just going to go with the North Pole Bakery. I'm just going to put it right there. I'm just going to take that one little piece from there. Now, you could also, another one, and I'm just trying to pull, Walmart. About 6 weeks ago, I jumped over the border from Canada into the US, and I went to Walmart, and they had some really cool stuff there as well. Even though I am going to use this just because we are doing the gingerbread man. I just want to, I always like to show you guys options. I'm just going to stick that Jenga block under there for now. They also had these as well, and this was just an ornament from the Walmart, that one, and you can buy them here in Canada too. I seen them here. Just a big wreath. It looks like a big donut. You could do that one as well. There was something I wanted to put up here, playing around. I like to do a lot of that off camera. This was really cute, and I ended up buying them. There were 4 ornaments for $2.48 in the US at the Walmart. Now, I didn't see them here in Canada. Might be just my store. And they're just little rolling pins. I'm just going to nip off the ends there, and I thought they'd look really cute here, considering they're also in the picture. It's probably not going to stay, are you? I'm just going to hot glue those on once I cut those off. And they're just adorable. Under here, Dollar Tree. I use this for one of my other projects. I don't remember which one. And they just come like candy canes. Well, candy cane kind of, sort of. I'm just going to hot glue those right there and cut them on the ends. Just to add a little bit something. I had these little tiny trees that were just in my stash. And I'm just going to hot glue them there. I just want to put a little bit of green since I did put the green on the top. And I thought those were cute. Now, Dollar Tree did have these and I'm not using them. I just wanted to show you I just thought they were just super, super cute. If you maybe can incorporate them. I thought they were a great little candy cane company. I just thought these were really cute to buy as well. And they also had this one, and I don't think I'm going to put it in this build. I think I'm going to save it for another build, but I just thought it was super cute from Walmart as well. And it was only $1.98. And I thought, wouldn't that just look super cute in your build with the little gingerbread man in the wagon? And I should have grabbed two, and I don't know why I didn't for $1.98. Thought it was super sweet. Now, Dollar Tree also does carry these. I'm just trying to find the original packaging, and I'm just going to show you. These are the candy canes you could also use. They're just the stickers, or another option if you want to hang them underneath. I tried painting one, and this is what it looks like. Not very good, just did a fast job on it. A lot of work to do for just one candy cane. I just like that it stood out more. These ones are a little bit faded. That I didn't really like about them. But I'm just going to glue these ones on, get this cut, and then we're going to move down to the bottom part. All right, so we did have the door at the beginning when we did the windows. Now, I'm going to scrap the idea with this one. I thought it would work out, and I'm just going to go with something a little bit different now that the build has begun, and I'm just going to try something a little bit different. We're going to, instead, those were 7 blocks that we used for this. We're going to scratch that out, and we're going to use 12. You're going to do 3 rows of 4 flat right on each other, just like that, and glue them all together. Once you have them all glued together, take your nail file buffer round the corners, just at the top. I am going to put some spackle once I get mine glued together. I am going to put some spackle on mine, and then I am just going to paint it red. All right, so while the red door is drying, we're going to add something on the side, the front side of the gingerbread house. Now, I bought these from Temu a while back. I know they still carry them. So they are bigger than the ones up here. And I also got green at the time. I used them with the water beads floating candles when I ordered them, and then I got green. And I just decided that I'm gonna put right on along on the side, the front side, and doing red, green, and I'm just gonna hot glue them on. I'm gonna keep doing the red and green, and it actually works out to be 7, so 4 red and the 3 green, and I'm just gonna do it on the sides front. So I end up gluing 2 rows on the side, and I just wanted to show you. I'm gonna turn it, just make sure it's in camera. It is shorter in the front. I glued from the top to the bottom, which I should have glued from the bottom up because you can conceal it under the front part of the roof. But I'll just conceal it with some snow later instead of taking them all off. And I did another row on the other side and the exact same on the other side. So now I want to, I got some glitter and snow falling all over. I wanted to glue on the windows and the door. So here's the door. And I just like that it pops more from the brown. I'm just going to add, oh, I don't know what happened here. These are from Dollar Tree. You can get different colors. I want to add a trim to the door. So I am just going to add this all the way around the door, around the top, just because it gives it a little bit of a look all the way around. And I'm just going to glue this on before I do any more things to it, as well as both the windows. And I'm just going to hot glue those on, but with the door I'm actually just going to use some Weld Bond, and then I am just going to leave it for the night and continue tomorrow. All right, now that those are glued on, I'm going to take back some of my puffy paint, and I'm going to make a mark with puffy paint all the way down just on the edge here, and just in between the candies on the side and underneath on both sides. I just want to have something that when I do paint on it, because I'm going to put some more snow on the corners, but I also want to make it more white underneath. If you just paint on with Mod Podge in between the cracks without the paint, you can just do it with paint, or you can do it with puffy paint. It will stand out more like the top here with the snow on it, as opposed to just putting the Mod Podge and the snow. Okay, now that I did it, I'm gonna let it dry, and it's not dripping, so far so good. Next thing we're gonna do is, now I showed you these candy canes earlier from Temu. But once again, you can use these ones as well. And I'm just gonna hot glue some candy canes right on the bottom of the base of each window. They're just hanging on the side. I'm gonna add some snow after. I don't want to touch that right now because it's wet. And then these wood cutouts. So if you're in the US, before you guys check Temu, if you're in the US, check your local Walmart for stuff. And if you're in Canada, a lot of these little wood cutouts I get are from Dollarama, which is just another dollar store we have here in Canada. And I'm just gonna place some of these around. I don't know, just something like that. They're just little wood cutouts. I have like the little trees that are on top here. I had a couple little extra ones. I'm just gonna put it in the window. Now these are from Dollar Tree, the little bows, but I just found that they were just too, I don't know, shiny, I guess, I don't know. I just ended up painting a little bit of Mod Podge and added just some red glitter. Hot glue those. I think those can go there. I have a couple of these little wood trees also from Dollarama. I'm just trying to look what I have here on my side to finish this off. I'm going to stick some little trees here. Right like that. Oh. I always like balance, and I just don't want to touch the sides. Now for the door, just like we did with the little tops, the half wood rounds, I'm just going to go, I had already a green one painted, so I'm just going to go with that. Now Dollar Tree does have these wired garland ties. And I wanted to make a wreath. So if you just keep winding it, and I just don't want none of the green stuff to fall off. You keep winding it in a circle to the desired shape. I never did cut mine. And then what I did is I gave it a haircut with just some scissors to trim it right down. Might just spray some little snow foam on there. I'm not going to glue it on right away. I'm going to put a little bit of spray snow on it. And then just Dollar Tree just has just a ribbon. I'm going to stick it right there. And I had some stuff. Oh, now this was the fun stuff. Temu has it and Dollarama has it. I'm going to show you here. I'm just going to, they have all this, it's called, it almost looks like the stuff you put on cupcakes. I'll just show you a couple little packs here from, they're $1.50 for the mini confetti. I do see these that they have them as well on Temu. If anybody else has seen them in the stores in the US, can somebody comment below and let anybody know if there's any of those little mini confettis maybe in some of your other dollar stores? So I just took the little stars out of one of the little packets, and I'm just gonna eventually pick them back up, and I'll probably just put a little dab of hot glue, just really gently. And I'm just gonna put the little stars all over the door. I think that'd be a cool idea. Just make it pop a little bit more. Oh, that'll be too much. Oh, I see, I was trying to be careful. I'm gonna have to fix that. And I'm just gonna maybe put a couple around here. Just a little bit of extras. I think just something like that. Just put them all the way around. Keeps the eyes busy. I got my hand here, I don't want to touch anything. And I gotta fix that little spot. So I'm just gonna get all this glued on and wait for the sides to dry. Now that I have everything glued on, I did add a bit of Mod Podge just along the edge here, as you can see, and just sprinkled some snow just for a little added something than just looking totally plain on the side. I also put some in the window here as well along the edge on the bottom. When you're taking it off, I just used a dry brush with nothing on it just to, so it didn't stick, and to get some little pieces off. Now that we have that done, the side, I did this as well as on the other side, and I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm just going to flip it. So on the sides, as you can see right here, I did the exact same thing. Make sure you start on the bottom when you do up the candies, because mine's a little bit shorter, but it's going to be concealed on the side. And I just don't want to drop this. I am just going to put some stickers. These ones are from Dollar Tree. They're just felt stickers. They're 4-piece. It comes in a little boy and a little girl. And I'm just going to stick those on the sides just to add something. Plus a little star just over their head to fill in the sides. Now I'm going to give you the counts for the Jenga block total. For just the house is 288 blocks, and that's with the adjustment going from the front door from 7 to 12. And then we're going to add a base. Now there's a bunch of different things that you could do. You might have some wood at home if you don't want to use blocks. I already had a base done, and I'm just going to use it for this project. I don't remember which one it was, and I wasn't going to at first. I guess in my other project, I don't know why I didn't use it. And so it's already stained. So this will be an extra 66 blocks if you want to do this kind of base, or you can put it in a bigger square piece of wood that you want to add a lot more to the yard, make a yard in front of the big house. It's really up to you. But this is the one that I use. So you're going to do 6 flat across, and then you're going to have 11 rows. So then it's going to come to 66 blocks. You can see here, 6 across, down. So the total amount between the base that I'm going to use and the house is 354 blocks for this project. Now you can see I end up, when I guess at the time when I did it, the little in-stamp from Dollar Tree is in the front. It's no big deal. We're going to conceal it anyways. I did round the sides on the corners just to make it look, instead of just totally square. When we are going to put this on there, I am going to use Wellbond. You're going to center it. I'm going to center it more towards the back, just so I have some room in the front to play around with. So I'm just going to get those glued onto the side and get this glued to the base. So while the gingerbread house is drying on the base, I figured I still had some of these candies from Temu. They're the same ones that going around the roof in the front. Gonna grab some toothpicks. I'm gonna do 4 on each side, so I'm gonna do 8. There's a little hole. Just gonna push it in. You can glue it in as well. Then you're just gonna cut the stem. And then you're gonna paint the stem white. Gonna get a little base now. I was playing around with the idea off camera and I did 4. So I was gonna do it on the front, except where I put the little trees on the bottom. But we are gonna put some gingerbread men, some hanging ones, and I'll show you that in a sec. And I didn't know which way I wanted to do it with doing the walkway coming out, but I think I'm just gonna do it on a little square piece here. And just try to figure out which one's the longest. I should have left them ended. I wanted to do a little bit different in heights. And a little bit shorter ones going on the bottom. I think this one is just a little bit too long for the front. So kind of gave it, a little bit different level. I just noticed if I switch them around. I did them all. I want to turn it around just with those one piece. And I'm just going to glue it to the base on either side of the front of the door. Now on the base, instead of having it, I have it all stained. I'm just going to take some white coat and kind of do it just lines right around, I guess, just to make it like a pool of snow, if that makes sense. But I don't want to cover the whole base in white. I just want to give the look of that. When I do hot glue these down to the base, I will paint these white as well. And then once I have those glued down and the base painted, I will just throw some snow on there. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera and I just wanna show you the front of the gingerbread house on the bottom. But before we do that, once I put these little candies in the front, now I did hot glue them just to the base so they don't fall over. But I wanna put 2 gingerbread men on either side of the front entrance. Now, I'm gonna use these ones. And these ones are actually from Dollarama. I found they're a little bit nicer than Dollar Trees. They're just tree ornaments. I like the colors in it. And I thought it kind of looked great with the colors and color schemes of the gingerbread house. Now, Dollar Tree does have, I'm going to show you a couple different variations. Now they have these ones, I'm sure you saw, you can put names. Maybe you're gonna custom make this for somebody. Maybe your grandkids or children are gonna make one and wanna put their name on the front. They have these ones. I thought this is cute too. You could put standing up in front of your gingerbread house. And if you wanted to do one facing that way and one facing the other way, I think you could just pop this, probably with a heat gun, pop this off and turn it over and glue it on the other side, so you have one facing on each side. If you want to put a gnome, here's the, I always laugh when I see this one, and these ones have been out for the last couple of years. I just find that I don't know if it's like the head looks too small or too short, but you could also put, I was thinking to make it sound look a little bit bigger, is you could put a little Santa hat on them. And this one would be really good too. I have too much right now going on in the front, but after when I was looking through these, through my stash, I thought this would be really good too to use. They have the snowmans, you can put the names on them. You have the little elves. And these ones are famous. They've been out for a while. And I think I used this one in one of the builds, the Jenga block Christmas tree scene I did with the Santa and the penguin. But like I said, I'm going to use these ones just because I really like the colors. And these are from Dollarama. And I think they were like a couple, I think they were $2. I can't remember how much the price on them were. I think they were like $2 each, but I'm going to use these ones. Now I'm just going to switch the camera around to the front. All right, so we're now at the front, and I did paint all the way around. I haven't put the snow on it yet. The reason being is I'm going to add the little candies. I'm just going to hot glue them down right on either side of the door. And then once I hot glue them down, I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the edges so it's more of a little bit of on an angle. So when I put the snow on, it's not like just drops off and it looks very square. And then this is where I'm going to put the gingerbread man, and I'm going to glue these ones on first, only before I put the snow, so I can get a good solid hot glue to the ground before I glue over the snow. And I'm just going to put one on each side, and let me just adjust this camera here a bit. One on each side standing up. Hot glue these down the back of the head right on the gingerbread house itself so that they don't fall over. And then I am just going to paint some Mod Podge and add some snow to all the area that I painted white all the way around. And then I'm going to show you the finale. All right, guys, so here it is. I'm just going to show you from the side all the way down. Now, I did put those 3 little balls in the front. They're just vase filler from Dollar Tree. I think it turned out really good. Sorry for the delay, guys. I've been wanting to make this for a while. You can always see a closer picture up on my Crafty Shopper page on Facebook or Instagram. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you going to make one? Thanks for watching. Happy crafting, and see you soon. Bye.